Okay, so hi everyone. We are here live on Facebook, and we are with Nik Balogh and Bree Stewart here to talk about alchemical healing today, which I'm so excited. Nik is my mentor, teacher, guide, ass kicker. Anybody knew my most recent experience last week, she had to pull me through the bris of myself. So we're here to talk a little bit. This is Bree Stewart, owner of Crone's Cupboard, with her husband Forrest Stewart.
Yep.
And we are bringing Nik Balogh into the store to teach Alchemical Healing 1 and 2. Alchemical Healing in April, Chemical Healing 1, and in September, Alchemical Healing 2. And it's a very personal journey for me, as it is for many of us. And we're starting here today just to talk. So Nik, would you like to just say hi and introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about you and your journey with alchemical healing?
Okay, thanks. Thank you. It's a pleasure to be with both of you ladies and this opportunity to share alchemical healing. I'm so excited. So I'm Nik Balogh. You have to go g because it's Hungarian. and well, ooh, I've been on a path, or I was pleasantly introduced to Nikki and the work in 2010, and I've been teaching though for 10 years now, and it's become my main passion. So alchemical healing is, I'm going to say, the most comprehensive healing system I've ever experienced. I'm training in quite a few different modalities, including an apprenticeship in shamanism, which was what pulled me into alchemical healing. Was the fact that I devoured the book when I got it, and could not wait to train with Nikki. In the fact that, first of all, I love that Nikki in the book tells people that she's a feeler. She doesn't see. Everybody wants to see, and you can do this work without being able to see. Right? And so that excited me because I'm a feeler. Was my predominant sense. And everything that I had been dabbling in, so whether it be herbalism, shamanism, crystals, so plant medicines, and like all of it can be pulled through and utilized through alchemical healing energetically. It just amazed me. I was like, it's like this beautiful container that that not only holds it, but creates opportunity for even more. It's limitless. Alchemical healing is really an art form, with amazing tools um, that allow us to be a guide to take others through their own healing experience. And that's what's super important, is for a person to have their own experience. And so the tools that we have and the experience that we have is really to hold their hand, so they experience their own healing. When they experience their own healing, then it really truly takes form. Right? And it's just amazing what I have witnessed with alchemical healing. So it's become my main passion, and my main source of what I want to share. It's the vehicle now that I choose to share everything that I have ever experienced and learned through the vehicle of alchemical healing, because it is that amazing.
Mm, I love that. And Bree, I'm going to ask. Bree has no knowledge of what alchemical healing is. She's going on blind faith.
Absolutely.
With one, her intuition,
Yeah.
and two, me. But she's also, anyone who's been in my classes has met Nikki Scully through the ethers, right? So we all dance with her. She's well known in the circle without ever having met her. I mean, I've met her, but
We have not. Yeah, I have not.
So
Yeah.
when I said, would you be open to having the class here? You had an experience. I'm gonna let you share your experience. What was that?
So
honestly, all she said was the word alchemical healing, the 2 words. And for some reason, it was like this, I don't know how to explain it, kind of a homesick feel. It was like, I have been missing this my whole life. Like, I don't even know how to like explain it. It like just gripped me. And I was like, okay, tell me about this. What is this? What, you know? And we still have yet to talk about it. So you explaining it is still my first experience with it. So now I'm even more fired up. I'm so excited, and I want to get more in touch with my feeler because I am one that sees. And so I'm very excited to grow in this way. But it was just like this instant, I knew that we needed to do this. I'm like, I will put everything else on hold because I want to do this.
Literally, that has been the
Yes.
dialogue too. We have actually moved stuff off the
have.
calendar in the last few days to make this our primary focus. So
Yes.
this has its now. I'm gonna say it in Aubrie style. She goes, "Girl, why am I so emotional?" I like in her heart on her hand on her heart when I said alchemical healing.
I did. It just hit me like I was struck by lightning, and it just like I literally felt my tears, well up, and I was like, oh my gosh, like what is this? And I haven't had anything like that on my journey thus far. And so I had a very profound emotional reaction to it that I'm still trying to figure out what to do with. I'm so excited. I'm like, I have to do this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to share just a really neat experience. So the day after, because then I took my practitioner checkout with Nik on my birthday, as a matter of fact, on my 55th birthday, and I had an existential breakdown. Like it was like, breakdown. It was the mother.
It was a monumental meltdown.
It was a monumental meltdown. Everybody got it. Aubrie got it. Nik really got it. And I actually wasn't going to take my test. And Nik was like, the fuck, you're not. Like, sorry, everybody, for the F word, but like, so, and thank goodness she's from the East Coast. Like, seriously, she knows my love language. Like, suck it up, buttercup. Anyway. The reason I was here at the store, and Bree has another teacher in here, and somehow the name Nikki Scully came up.
Yeah.
And she looks at me, she goes, we were just talking about her yesterday, and we were wondering where she is. I said, well, Nik is bringing her work into the store. Like, spirit is guiding. Amazing. Right. Yes. So there's a whole community wondering what's happening with the work, even if they don't understand what's happening. Right. And Nik, you were highly recommended as the transition of the work. Right. Sage was our medium, Sage being Nikki's daughter. And I got the message that I needed to be in Nikki's lineage. What that means, I don't know. And I'm not tied to that. And I knew I had, and the only way to do that was to move into the path and start apprenticing as a teacher. And Sage said, I had to be with you. Like, you were the one. And I trust that. Right. And it's taken a couple of years to get me to even like get steady my oars well enough to do it, because I have fought this the whole way. And what I want to ask you about that is how this work works, right? It's so much bigger. The container, there is no container in this container and its intention. What would you say from you is the biggest thing you've gained? And I know that is a loaded question, because it's everything, right? Like, and because that is, Nikki set my life on a course. My life was changed 7 years ago when I met her at the Mystical Moon in Bonita Springs, right? Like, if it weren't for Lori Baracco, I wouldn't be here, right? In this space. Like, Lori and Nikki had a profound relationship, and I'm forever grateful for the Mystical Moon, which If you know me, I literally lived in there. And if I were in Florida, I'd still be there. And now I'm in Crone's cupboard.
Who knew?
Well, we never know. We just trust. Right? We
Right.
trust, especially those lightning bolts that
Woo,
come
yes.
in, right? And that it really is a calling to this work. It's same when I went to train with Nikki in 2010. It absolutely changed my life. The course of my life moved with alchemical healing as its foundation. Yoga just helps me to embody it. So it really is a life's journey with it. Like alchemical healing is not just a healing modality. It's actually really a way of living. It helps you to become aware of your own energy and with tools to manage your own energy, what you're sensing, what arises for you. It is the vehicle really to move through life in a way that feels both grounded and expansive. Right? That's lovely. That's really, so alchemical healing, you're right. There is absolutely no container. It is infinite in its possibilities. What I'll say though is that one of many main things that also nailed it for me with alchemical healing is that it has four rules. I'm not really good with rules. It has just four principles, and those four create the foundation for magnificence. It keeps everybody safe. So I used to be very sensitive to taking energy on other people's energy, even with other modalities, and has not happened since alchemical healing. It has that foundation that is so solid, but then has like this like almost like Mother Earth. It then creates everything. so so yeah, I shifted. Maybe one of the main things was just it absolutely changed the way I live. That's everything. That's pretty big.
I love that's everything. And and I know Bree shares this, Bree and Forrest, this is an area that we have foundational common ground is absolute reverence for the work, right?
Absolutely.
Absolute reverence for the work. And I remember I asked you the other day, what was your test out like with Nikki, right? Like, what was that like? Because as seemingly free flowing as she is, one of the greatest aspects she gave me was the reverence for walking the path.
Mm-hmm.
Right? That this is not just to get some cool skill under my belt. It's
Absolutely.
not like she was adamant about the reverent way to walk. Adamant. And that is, I have that experience with you even, right? Like, yeah, I get it. Like we laugh, we joke, we play, and there is a lot of joy in what we do. What would you say for anybody new, even seeking moving into this medicine, right? This way of this lifestyle, what would you say, what would be the invitation to them, why they would bridge into that? Because it is a sacred work. And yet there is a lot of fun. We have a lot of fun in the classes when we're doing the work, when we're not in existential break.
So, I mean, well, because there's joy, you have a lot of fun because there is joy. It creates joy when you're connected. It creates joy when you have the tools to work through whatever comes through your life, whatever blows sometimes through your life. So and most I find, especially in North America, most of us are taught to live externally as opposed to internally. And then when we do have, when things arise for us, which, hopefully not a cosmic 2x4, but usually there's, it's when there's something that we need to deal with, we don't have the tools. We haven't been given the tools to do so. And with alchemical healing, it has all the tools to manage emotion, to manage old trauma, to manage cellular memory, whether it even be back through ancestral or past lives. It really doesn't matter whether it's physical, mental, emotional, spiritual. Alchemical healing has the tools to first of all, be guided through it. That's where the teachers and practitioners come through. And then many people actually take level 1 just for their own education in learning their own energy management, and creating their own boundaries and learning, what they're sensing. And it's the other side, right? It's the foundation that helps you now to navigate life and all that arises. You have the tools when shit hits the fan.
Right? That is so great.
Right? Or you're dragged through it, right?
Well, either way, it's coming. So
Exactly.
yeah.
Now, Aubrie, as a woman who has had access to medicine gifted from spirit since a kid, right? So Aubrie has really been trained by the other side, which we can relate, right?
Absolutely.
What, with the very limited, so I'm tapping more into your intuitive knowing as well. What would you say, even to those at Crone's Cupboard or in our community here, why would this be beneficial from your thought?
Well, it's kind of like Nik was just saying, like, it gives you those tools as we're starting to go, more and more people are starting to work internal now, rather than just living externally and almost that mask, that facade. And we're all really getting to know ourselves, because honestly, for a lot of people, anxiety is taking over. All these things are taking over because they have that mask and they're not working within, and they don't know what to do with it. They don't have the tools, and we get so many people in that are like, please help me. I don't know what to do now. I've come undone and I can't leave here till you help me, and so I really like that you address that to help give them the tools that they need for themselves. Yes, those that want to do the journey like you did, and like you did, Nik, to be able to go on and teach it and magnify it, but also the ones that really need a starting place, and knowing that there is, that there are these tools here that can help them help themselves. Because for a lot of people now, therapy's not working. We know pharmaceuticals aren't working. They're band-aids, but it's still festering underneath. And so to be able to have access to learn these tools and have them and keep them with you in your toolbox is huge, so even for that aspect, for people that come in here, I'm so excited, very, very excited.
Me too. So even whether you take alchemical healing or you even just receiving a session, in just a session alone, let alone the magic and how that happens when we gather to study it, is that the person either ends up with tools and awareness just through the session. Our sessions start with what's called the heart breath. Everything is threaded through the heart. For this work, which is exactly where the integrity comes from. So people walk away from even just a session, again, feeling empowered, that they can even use the heart breath walking away. That was one of the things I thought after training with Nikki. If I forget everything else and only remember the heart breath, my life will change. So simple tools that are effective and easy to integrate into your day.
I love that. It's as soon as you said heart breath, I got tears in my eyes and got deeply emotional. And I remember you and I have talked a lot about this because of my experience with my NDE and the light, and how to reconcile what I have seen with the work, right? I've gone through my own reconciliation process in the last few years. And when we were at the checkout talking about this heart breath, and I got present to how Nikki and you, when you're drawing it in the opening of class, and our hearts connect, right? The last tier is not, it's not just bringing it in for us, it's connecting our hearts together in that love light. Like, it's such a personal moment when you can feel the interconnectedness of everybody's heart. Like, it just, and as you were talking about that, I was like, right, right? It's that one love, like Bob Marley, one love, right?
Yes.
Like we're all in this together. So I have a question. I'm going to go off script. We have scripted questions. Are you okay if I go off script real quick?
Oh, we did.
Yeah, I think we already did. I don't think we even addressed the questions that we put out there. So for me, one of the main draws outside of the fact that she knew Jerry Garcia, like, let's be clear, like as a young deadhead, that was like, I had star idolism, right? Like I was so excited. Was the Egyptian connection to the Egyptian mysticism, Egyptian shamanism, just the Egyptian ways, right? And I see your backdrop there, which is near and dear to my heart because I've studied it extensively, right? What is the connection from your perspective between the two? And I know that people will get a lot of that when they're reading the alchemical healing and studying because it gives Nikki's history and how it came about. But I think it's really important because her primary guide in this work is of the Egyptian component.
Yes. This is this gentleman right here, Thoth.
Yes, the great ibis,
Mhm.
which I know you've known
Thankfully
him.
received in Egypt. But yes, so that being said, so yes, Nikki, um, Nikki's connection with Egypt, then it was Thoth that became her primary guide and scribe. Nikki is the Nikki that Nikki mirrors Thoth. Nikki's the scribe. She's basically more really channeled the alchemical healing in through her with her own wisdom of the her foundation of Reiki and Huna and predominantly actually traveling around with the Grateful Dead, practicing through concerts and through live channeling of music and everything she learned that came through in with Thoth to create the alchemical healing as a form to share. And I don't want that to scare people because if you don't have a connection to the Egyptian pantheon, you don't need one. You might end up, like I did, embracing it. But I went into alchemical healing. My flight there, I was like, I got my own guides. I'm just gonna pretend that I connect with these ones.
I'm gonna be honest, that's where I'm at.
That's okay. Because I mean, all pantheons, I mean, we're talking about archetypes, really, right? And that was really what happened when we first got, one of the first things we do is in Alchemical Healing 1 is make a connection with Thoth. And he showed up in the form of my main guide of healing that I had previously for healing. Yeah, I'll share in a Merlin form, and then that I had worked with for years, and then he morphed into Thoth, and then morphed back to Merlin, and morphed back into Thoth, and he was like, "I'm the same guy." Right? So, right, so we're really talking about that archetypical aspect of higher wisdom and learning and magic, and yeah, everything that Thoth represents. So you could end up embracing, which is amazing. First of all, that's why there's so much depth to the Egyptian mysteries, but you don't have to. You can just be you.
It actually gave me a memory.
Receive it in whatever way.
I'm sure it did.
Very interesting.
So we won't keep people long, but the class is here in Boise, April 20th,
19, 20, 21.
19, 20, 21, and Nik is coming in from Canada to teach us.
We're
which
so excited.
I know, we are
Yeah.
so happy.
Me too. I'm guessing it's warmer there.
Probably.
Probably. We've had a very warm winter, actually. We've had a very warm winter.
We just got a cold front that it came from Canada. So
She's sending the weather in before she gets here.
yeah.
So it's gone by the time she comes.
Yes.
What would you like people to know what can we, I know, anything before we sign off from either one of you that you would like people to know?
Well, I guess you can find if you feel called to join us in the magic, you can find us through the course, either through Crone's Cupboard,
Yep, on the website, yep.
yeah, or myself, my website,
And my website as
and
well.
your website as well. So there's, yeah, right there, it creates a lovely tripod of
Yes.
The
possibilities
trifecta.
for people to join us. And actually, there is a discount that's just actually is
I think it ends today would be the last day or tomorrow.
is tomorrow. Actually, is the last date. So you know you
Yeah,
can,
yeah.
March
So,
1st.
and it's a big
Yes.
one. It's $100 discount.
It is.
So,
yeah.
and
So grab it up.
and I will say one of the things that I loved in every I took the advanced alchemical healing with you. I've taken alchemical healing twice through Nikki. It is all walks of life.
Oh,
There is
absolutely.
no common thread that I can put it's not a dogma, right? It is all, there were all colors, all
Yeah.
belief systems, various stages of knowledge, right? Like even in the most recent class I did with you, it was all over the map.
Mhm.
And it was exquisite. And that really appealed to me because for me, I need diversity. I do well in diversity. So seeing all colors, beliefs, modalities present that made me feel at home.
I'm happy to hear that because I think that's super important, and thank you for bringing that up because it really alchemical healing really does meet people where they are at, and they can utilize it through whatever belief systems they have. If anything, it's only going to enhance and empower your own belief systems and your own and wherever you're at in your journey, right? Yeah, you don't. We're here to, and actually the diversity helps create more power in a community coming together with open hearts, right? So it's not just a single path with a particular group of people. It creates an expansive, more whole group, I think, and it also helps to create that place of that we become each other's teachers.
I love that.
We meet each other.
Yeah, I love that.
And we grow together, and we all have something to offer each other. It's just beautiful.
I'm getting emotional again.
I love it.
All right. Well, I'm going to say thank you to both of you. We will be reposting this and sending it out again. So I appreciate everybody listening and taking the time, and thank you both.
Thank you, Nik, for taking the time.
Yeah. My pleasure. It's always a pleasure to meet with you too. And I can't wait to meet you in person.
Me too. I can't wait.
All right. Hugs and kisses,
Take
everyone.
care.